back to Studio 5. Strong social skills are key to success. That said, teenagers aren't the most communicative creatures. So how can you assure they are building the social skills they'll need? Studio 5 contributor Dr. Matt Townsend has identified 4 keys to socially strong teens, and fair to say you've had some personal practice with this topic.
Holy cow. I totally do. And my communication style, believe it or not, you know this, is different than my wife's.
Yes.
So she tends to be way out there, way verbal, mouthy. I tend to be very quiet, sassy, reserved.
Let's reverse those.
Okay, yeah. So here's the dilemma. And we've got to be really careful because a lot of times we just throw a label on these kids. Like, oh, they're just introverted or they're shy.
Right.
I would never call a kid shy.
Why?
Because shy doesn't actually probably exist.
Shy doesn't exist.
What we're finding out in the research is that, and there's a killer book, anybody out there that feels like they're a little bit different than society in how they communicate and deal, there's a book called Quiet by, I think her name is Sarah Kane, Sarah Kane. And just an awesome book because we build up in our culture that extroverts are the supreme human. And introverts are kind of like piddly little sad, shy people. But the reality is everybody's a little bit of everything. So sometimes somebody's shy just because they get overwhelmed by too much information. So they go to a situation where there's too much info and it wears them out, it psychs them out. Some people don't process information as fast. A lot of times I see a lot of the women and men that come in, the women totally overstimulate the man and the man can't process everything she's saying.
Right.
So sometimes it's a processing problem, not necessarily a shyness problem. Sometimes it's an overwhelm problem. Sometimes it's they just feel better not having to be with so many people.
So for the parent who might throw out the term shy in attempt to make the child feel comfortable, right? They're in a social situation, oh, she's a little shy.
She's a little shy.
They might do it to make the child feel comfortable, but what are they really doing?
Now they're setting up this stigma, and then this child's gonna have to start realizing that, you know what, I guess I'm really shy. Then what we do is we start compensating for the shy child. So one of the first rules is recognize that everyone is different and everyone is essential. Some are very communicative. Some don't communicate, they just think a lot. They think very deeply. Some are I just found this out, I'm called a highly sensitive person.
Highly sensitive?
So what that means is I pick up a ton of information, which probably makes me a really good coach because I can watch people, I watch their eye roll, I watch everything, and I pick up the data. That's a great skill when I'm alone with a couple people or whatever. But when I'm with 30 or 40 or 50 people, being so sensitive is seriously overwhelming because I pick up a ton of data. Now that is a great tool, but a lot of times we don't know that that's what our son's going through. So if I'm a sensitive person, my parents should probably know that. They should start picking up that why I'm getting overwhelmed, why I tend to go quiet, and then see it as a strength. There can be a strength because you can make pretty good money coaching people, but you can also be overwhelmed. So we need to see it as a difference, but see our differences are essential. We don't want everyone in the room talking.
Right.
If we had all extroverts in a room talking, it would be, I don't know, it'd probably be like your offices.
It could be. It's pretty loud around here.
It'd be super loud.
So let me ask you this, because how much do you think people, I just am phrasing this so awkwardly. Listen, I need to learn how to communicate.
That's right,
no, but how much do you think do they come to the table with the skills already inside them? Because I think parents will want to say, well, I want to draw out strong skills. I want to help them develop these communication skills.
Well, so I believe a lot of us are born with just inherent ways of assimilating data. Some of us like to just take one idea and go 1,000 miles deep. Some of us like to go an inch deep and 1,000 miles wide. Some of us love 500 people to experience life, and some of us only need one and go deep. So it's an interesting thing because if I'm born as kind of more somebody that's going to be more pensive and thoughtful about something, and my mom keeps saying, get out and play with your friends. Why aren't you playing with your friends? Get out and play with your friends. You may be setting your child up a little bit to start thinking that they've got a problem. There's something wrong with them. If you think of the greatest researchers, the greatest scientists, even the greatest doctors, a lot of them aren't super extroverted. So we need them, but we also need them to talk as well. So some of this we're born with, but some of it we need to teach. So another rule is let your children do their own talking. If you think that they have an issue, a lot of parents will jump right in and start talking for the kid.
They'll explain it away.
How many times have you just ordered for your child? We do not order for our children. It's easier if we did, but man, then we find out when they're 16, they can't order for themselves. They can't make a decision. If one of our children didn't get enough food and wants to go back up to the counter and get more food at McDonald's or whatever, they used to say, come with me, Dad, come with me. And I'm like, no way.
You send them on their own.
Go. Here's money.
My mom used to have, I think I've shared this before, she used to have us phone our own babysitters. when
Oh,
we
I
got
love
to a
that.
certain age.
That's great.
To practice those phone
Could you
skills.
choose your own babysitter?
We had a rank. Annie was at the top. But I'd get a little nervous. I remember getting nervous, and
That's
she'd kind
great.
of coach me through it.
Yeah.
But I would make that call and say, could you come watch
That's
me
it.
on Friday
What
night?
do you think the nervousness was about?
Just not practice. I
You
wasn't
haven't done
skilled
it.
in making that call.
So then what we do is we facilitate their talking. So you can coach them and say, look, here's what you're going to say. You're going to go up there, and they're going to look at you, and they'll say, what can I help you with? And you're
Yeah.
going to say, I'd like a hamburger.
You talk them through it.
And you just walk them through it. It's not a big deal.
I like it.
When we don't walk them through it and they don't have the skills, a lot of times when you ask them a question, you'll get this answer, I don't know. So why didn't you go to class on time? I don't know. I don't know. They're not going to have an answer. Now, what that usually is, and I suggest don't ever believe the I don't know answer. Anytime anyone says to me in my office, I don't know, in my head I'm thinking, well, who knows? Who knows? If you don't know, come on!
So short of that reaction, how else can we draw out a deeper answer?
What it usually means is they're processing. Have you ever seen somebody giving a talk and they say, a lot? The is nothing more than just a verbal cue that they're processing. It gives their mind some time to think. So when I hear somebody say, I don't know, I say, well, you know what? Let's just give you a little time. And let's just think about it, because I bet you do have some ideas on it. So once again, here's the question. Now, let's just give you a few seconds to think about it.
And let them process.
And then I'll just wait. It's very silent.
It can be very painful.
But you know what's beautiful about it is I don't want my children to think there's an out, and that ignorance is an out to an effective conversation. So instead, I want them to just realize they're going to have to think about it, and then they're going to have to say it, and they're going to have to process it with me.
You say service is the best opportunity to teach kids how to be socially strong.
One of the things they're finding out is that even though you're an introvert, you might be able to be fairly extroverted. So what I'm actually finding out about myself is I'm probably a fairly introverted guy, believe it or not, but I go extroverted to help fulfill my mission. And if my mission is to help and serve people and to help people relate better and connect better with others, if that's my purpose and my mission, extroversion is something I can handle for a little while. So by me focusing on it being something I'm going to do to help people, to serve people, to give people, I see it in marriages all the time where husbands and wives, they don't talk and they use their fears and their inadequacies. But what if I could just make it as a service to my wife to go have the conversation? I'm trying to serve my wife this way. It's something that's not comfortable for me. I don't like to do it, but I'm going to frame it as an act of service. And then it would be great if she could frame the response as an act of service as well, to try to keep him in and to have the conversation. So we cannot complete our missions if we don't have the ability to connect people. Most of our missions on this earth are going to be connecting with others. And if we don't have the social skills to do that, we're going to be devoid of a fulfilling mission.
So well stated. You are teaching tools just like this in an upcoming teen workshop.
Yeah, we're going to teach kids how to do this.
Great chance for kids to kind of engage.
This is all about mission statement. This is about trying to help your kids engage in their lives instead of just being caught up in the junk of life and following the technology. July 30th, 9 o'clock to noon, we're going to be sitting down with teens. It's $25 per teen. We're also going to have a guest talent, I don't know what we want to call her, Kenzie Hall, I'm announcing it.
Fantastic.
Kenzie Hall, who was one of the American Idol top 30 finalists from Utah. She's going to be playing, and she's also going to be teaching how she got out of her shell and went and did something big.
I love it.
So we're going to teach the kids how to engage with their lives.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Brooke.
You can sign up online. We'll link you from our website. This week, world famous